Peoples of the universe, please attend carefully. The message that follows is vital to the future of you all.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Vital to the future, all broadcasting from the heart of Samaria. How's all my lighters off? 1 second. How is everybody? I hope you're all doing well. Good evening, afternoon, good morning. Doink! Let there be light, ye all. And I was illuminated. And I hope that illumination spills out upon to thee verily today. I hope you're all doing very well. I'm having a very fine day myself. Again, listen, I hope you're all doing well. 1 second, let me have a sip of coffee. Oh, needed that, mate. Needed that. So, a lot going on, as always. A lot going on. Too much going on. One thing not going on, right? And I hope he sees this because I keep forgetting. For the past week, I've been getting in contact with Dr. Alex. Said a bit, say, sorry, I'm off the radar. It's just my head's been in all these Jewish holidays, right? So, and every day, I mean, just sent a voice message saying, yeah, I'm sorry. Although I am following the exploits of his garden quite closely on Facebook. Anyway, I digress. What do I mean to do? I just haven't got round to it, man. Life is coming at me too thick and fast. There's a lot going on. Firstly, we're in the 10 days of repentance, which isn't. I'm finding my repentance a bit lackluster this year. I will be frank with you. I was a bit burnt out after the Jewish New Year. Like I was like, oh really? Honestly, I was a bit burnt out after last year. Last year was a nightmare, mate. Right, freaking nightmare. For me, I know I'm an uncommon soul. But truth matters to me, right? Reality matters, right? And so when, like, every authority in the world tells you with a straight face that up is down and black is white, that gets me down, right? That's like, really? No. It's just, I mean, it's the last year that we've really completely detached from reality in like a really major way. You were heading there, right? And that's we're just in a for me, I found it a very painful state, right? So what I think was going on is this, that and it's significant because last week was the Jewish New Year, which we call the Day of Judgment. Yeah, nothing's ever fun, although we do have good food. Okay, we have very good food. Apples dipped in honey, very good. I like that. I like pomegranate. So yeah, that's also very good. We of course do the beef Wellington to start on the first night. Beef Wellington, Yorkshire puds, potatoes. You know, the traditional Semitic affair. And then we have lots of. So then on tomorrow night is Yom Kippur, the holiest day of the year, the day of the greatest mercy from God. Right. Where we basically go, oh Lord, we beseech thee, basically for about 25 hours without eating. And it's intense prayer service. Like, really, I get it. It's intense for me because I've learned it really, really intricately. And most people find it very boring, right? I'm like, because it's like, it's one thing is only speaking Shakespeare and you don't know it, and you're like, it's not really your first language, right? But if you know it and you understand the many inflectations, that's the word I was looking for. You'll listen to it that much more intently. So it's Yom Kippur. We fast for 25 hours. No water, no food, nothing for 25 hours. That starts tomorrow night. As you know, I'm thinking, besides, if God wants to scare everybody enough to make them pray, the whole thing of there being no atheists in a foxhole. If the God wants to put the world in a foxhole, as I think is a reasonable inference, given everything else that's happened. The logical day to do that would be tomorrow or the next day, right? So could get you praying on the day where God has the most mercy, right? So that's been weighing on my mind quite a lot. So I was like, what's gonna happen? Holy shit! I have no idea. I'm genuinely stressed about it, right? Will I be relieved if nothing happens? Yes. It's just the wait. I just feel the waiting's killing me, man. Anyway, so anyway, tomorrow is Yom Kippur. So I got to do a few things. I got a few things on my head. I got to do Kippur. What on Kippur, right? Okay, this is the thing. You can do it in Jerusalem. You go to a place and you get a chicken. You buy the chicken. And they wave it over your head. Put a chicken in the air, stick a dick chairman. And I'm not pissing around. This is actually something that happens. You can also do it with money, which is the way I favor. I'm not telling you a bloody chicken. And then the chicken is sent to be killed for the to feed the poor. Right, it's quite a good system to give charity, but it's supposed to be like a level of your taking on the sin, right, that you did, and it's a sacrifice, right? That's what a kapora means. A kapora, it's sacrifice. It is taking the hit rather than you. That's good. So I've got to get that done by tomorrow, right? With money. 1 year when I was in rabbinical seminary, we went to, so you go in one line, right, to get your chicken, right? We got the chicken, okay, in a little right? So we went to the guy to do the waving and the slaughter, right? And he's like, yeah, no, I'm done for that, mate. I'm done. I like, what? We got the chicken. I said, look, come in the morning. I guess no problem. So we had to spend the night with the chicken. Gonna die in the morning. I'm like, oh man, that was not fun. Okay, that was not fun. Got that chicken out there first thing in the bloody morning. Oh man, I'm too much of a softie to be a farmer. I'm like, oh, I don't want to kill Boris, but what can you do? Anyway, so I got that going on, right? And then so then after on Sunday, which is why I won't be streaming on Sunday, it's another Jewish holiday of Sukkot. Now, Sukkot, you need a lot of shit for, right? Sukkot, you need this thing called arbor minim, which are like a lemon and a palm frond. I don't even ask. In America, they cost about $100, right? In Israel, you get for like 100 shekels, much cheaper. Anyway, so normally, you have your guy. I have my guy who, I got copyright claim. Copyright claim is fine as long as it's not copyright strike. Let me see what got copyright claimed. What was it? Man. Oh, this is an old video. Okay, whatever. As long as it's not a strike, don't care. That's an old video. The Great Doctor Who, Star Trek, and many more crossovers that never were. Right? Okay, fine. That's an old video, man. That's a good video. Well, old video. So we got Sukkot coming up. So I was talking about that. Well, what's going on? Right. So I listened to this class yesterday. Really had to plow to get through it. But the basic idea was really interesting, right? The idea of what is this day of judgment? The Jewish New Year. Why is that? What's being judged? I mean, your life's being judged. Nations are being judged. Everything's being judged. But how is it? What's the mechanics of it, right? So this rabbi explains that it was God. Basically, imagine it's a business, right? And every year you check your where you're holding in real life compared to where your goal is, where you want it to be. So when God created reality, he had a goal, right? And the goal is to have a species, people who had a intangible but very deep personal relationship with them, right? So basically everybody's able to connect and talk to God, right? And everybody has a loving relationship with God. That's what God wants, right? That's the goal, right? And he wants unity and peace and honesty and all that stuff, right? So every year on the day that the universe was created, on the first day of Tishrei, which was last week, God looks at where the world is and compares it to the grand plan of what he wanted for the world, right? That's reflected in the prayer of the day, right? That those prayers are really intense because it's basically just saying we're all nice to each other, right? Again, if everybody has a deep personal connection with God, right, and they all believe it's the same God, then and everybody's trying to do their best to work in the direction that God wants, right? because that makes us happy. That generates happiness. The world's just going to be a nicer place. There's going to be much less dickery with that. So that's what that meditation is about. That prayer that's called the silent prayer, the Amida, is all about. So what I think happened last year, I think for several reasons, God essentially gave the world over to the forces of Satan and evil, like all different types of evil. I think they all made a return call. They all had a curtain call. Like there was this idolatry called Baal, right? Is that no, not Baal? What's it called again? It was an M. It's killing me because it's on the tip of my tongue. Blake 7 episode. What's the name of the damn thing? Hang on. Child murdering idolatry. Let's see if it comes up. Child murdering idolatry. No, that's John. Old Testament. Let's try the Old Testament. Old Testament. Go. Molech. Oh, that was so painful. That was so freaking painful. Oh man, when you get to my age, you will have brain farts like that. Yes. Molech, right? Molech is this idol that you would sacrifice your children to, right? And I think the pleasure of that is, they talk the pleasure of that has been very completely subsumed by this ideology, right? Like to the extent where you're like proud to sacrifice your children to it. So I see that in the eyes of a lot of these parents trying to who are proudly showing off their children who have had like transgender surgeries, treatments like that. I definitely see that. Yeah, I mean I try and here's the thing. I try and understand the biblical concept at its core, and then I can plug it into the modern day. You know what? It's like what Gaddis and Moffat did with Sherlock Holmes, right? They really understand the stories very well, right? I a lot of people love a lot of things about Sherlock. You know, my favorite things they did was they turned the 6 Napoleons, which is a great little story, into like the 6 Thatchers. And it was perfect, right? It was the absolute perfect analogy. It was very, very clever. Or 4 Thatchers, or something along those lines. But they by doing that, I think they really express the essence of the story. So I try and do that with like biblical stuff. So anyway. So I think God gave a dominion of the world to evil. As of last year, right? I think that's what this looks like. I mean, this stuff going on, it's just evil. Up and down, black and white. It's evil. If you defend yourself, you get put in prison. That's evil. Okay, if you commit violent crimes, you don't get put in prison or you get let out straight away. That's evil. When the law is on the side of the criminals, that's called evil, right? And I think that's the way the world is right now, right? So that thing I found distressing and depressing of last year, right? By the way, nobody let me forget to get to the headline story, this is the same headline story that I meant to get to on Saturday. Was it Saturday? Yeah, it must be Saturday. But completely forgot about, right? Nobody let me forget, okay? Thank you. Anyway. I digress. So, I got to go back to where I was. So, yeah. So I think basically it's like taking the training wheels off. Right, and it depends how well you've done. It's been how well you go, right? So God took the training wheels off. He said, "Okay, I'm going to give you license to do whatever you want," and we just went, bleh! The world blew up. Right, it was not good. Right, it's not good at all. So I think that is the world that God compared to the blueprint of this complete unity and harmony and generally being happy with each other, being nice with each other. I mean, look, honestly, I would love to say to the Arabs, like, dude, we don't have to fight. Yeah, it's like, how about that? Why don't we all just like do our own thing, right? Yeah, you have boss. It's the same fucking God. Why don't we just all do our own thing, dude? Right? I like, and it's all cool, right? It's all cool, right? We do have the problem of the Dome of the Rock, which they're a bit nervous about, right? And for good reason. Look, we are not planning on taking it. I want to be very clear, as far as I know, and I probably would have heard, because we can't keep secrets. We are not planning. In fact, anything there's we don't want anything to do with it. Frankly, it's a hot potato, right? If God like takes it and drops it in our lap, what do you want me to do about it? But really, but yeah, so there is that thorny issue. But other than that, right? I mean, like just on a day-to-day basis, you go to mosque, I'll go to synagogue. We can have them side by side. It used to be, by the way, when this is why I like the new Game of Thrones show, House of Dragon, because it's really showing the tragedy of a war, right? The civil war they got coming up with the Targaryens. We're going to talk about it in detail. We're going to do a review. Freaking awesome. I should have called it hardcore dragon porn. Full frontal dragon porn. Oh, was it gorgeous? Oh, it was really good. Okay, it was really good. But you see this inevitability of a civil war, and that's why I like Paddy Constantine's character. Because he's just like, will you all shut the fuck up and be friends? Because we can just do that. Like we can just do that, and it'll be fine. You can say that about most conflicts. Like Russia, what do you want? You want some kind of and most people don't want to die and want to be able to thrive. Well, we can all do that, right? Can you imagine if we could all put the guns down? Okay, this is sounding like a bit messianic, weirdly hippie, but it doesn't seem overly complicated. How about we just all put our guns down and stop trying to kill each other, right? And that's all I'm saying. Keep militaries. I think a military is a good thing to have. I think it's like we don't need conflict. It's like what do you want, right? I'd love to say to people like what do you want, right? I think he wants Ukraine not to join NATO and not be pissed off. Like I don't know if he doesn't respond from the pipeline thing. If he doesn't respond, he's fucked. And say what you will, Putin is not a pussy who backs down. Or maybe he is. I mean, it'll be good if he does. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know. But I was thinking there's so many ways that he could respond. Like, wouldn't it be weird if he just happened to have a copy of the Jeff Epstein tapes? Yeah, the surveillance tapes, and it happened to catch Joe Biden raping a child there. I mean, and Bill Clinton. Wouldn't that be funny? I would use that if I was Putin. Right? Like, I'm sure he's got everyone's got a copy of the Clinton emails. Like, at least 8 intelligence agencies got copies of it, according to our intelligence agencies, right? Publish them. I'm like, that's the first things I would do, right? Before let's say, oh, by the way, absolute proof that your president cheated and is a murdering rapist, a murdering pedophile rapist, like, which clearly isn't. This is all fantasy, YouTube. Clearly. The Ashley Biden diary didn't mean that. No. Can't be. Who's Ashley Biden? Shh. She's an enemy of the state, and the FBI will find her and liquidate or anyone who touched the diary. That's what I'm saying. The FBI shouldn't be like the Stasi, right? They shouldn't be like the secret police, and they are. It's so free. I mean, and they monitor your Facebook communications, your private Facebook communications for dissent. Like, yeah, that's evil. Okay, yes, that's called evil. So anyway, I think God compares where we are to where we're not, and I think the needle's going to be pulled off the record. I don't know how, I don't know when, I don't know where. Right? I am sweating bullets. It might be tomorrow or the day after. Right? But I don't know. If things do go strangely, right? I'll say this: if things do go strangely, and you never pray before and you don't believe in God, right? And you're like, something happens that scares you to the point where you go, I want to sincerely pray, right? Okay. This is the prayer I would recommend. Say, look, I don't know you. I don't know if you're there. Don't know if you're real, right? But I would like to have a relationship with you. If you are, can you help me do that? Right? That's what God wants, right? You do, and that's the easiest thing, right? I mean, also, if you're like, a cannibal eating babies, you should stop doing things like that too, right? Now, don't do bad things. One of the reasons I love Moffat's Doctor Who, because he wrote lines that I agreed with so intensely strongly. Right, so Capaldi's last lines was, always try and be good, but never fail to be kind. Right? You always have to try to be good, but sometimes you fuck up, right? But never fail to be kind, right? So anyway, we're in the 10 days of repentance, as I said, and man, I'm just exhausted. That's the truth, right? I'm really exhausted. The whole Jewish New Year wiped me out, totally. When I say exhausted, I mean spiritually exhausted, right? I came in spiritually exhausted because I came in from, again, this nightmare hellscape year, which I thought which I genuinely thought was the worst thing ever. It was absolutely terrible. But that's just me for you. There were moments of lightness in there, though. There were. I like the what was it? Brave New World. Cancelled, of course, and probably being hated it. And I liked when I'm trying to think from the Age of Woke that I like. I liked Raised by Wolves, cancelled, of course. That is a shame. I'd love to see where that story went. Westworld. I'm just developing a real love for it, but boy, I was going to start season 3, right? And every time I'm like, no, I don't want to work hard right now. I want something easy. So you know what I do when I want to watch something easy? I'm rewatching Mad Men. I'm on season 3, right? I put it on occasionally every now and then. I love Mad Men. I adore it. So if you don't know what Mad Men is, I'm going to explain to you why I love it from this episode. The season 3, episode 1, right? It really shows you the character of the central character, Don Draper, who is both very, very kind and very, very selfish, right? Simultaneously, it's really weird. Right, and he's very, very layered and very, very intelligent and very handsome, and has a superpower that he can get laid very easily. And lots of women want to have sex with Don Draper, right? And he's up for that, right? Even though he's married. That's basically his biggest downfall, right? So he's out of town with his. He's an ad man, right? He's out of town with his associate. Sal, whatever his name, and he's doing this whole thing. Okay, it's somewhat weird because he doesn't have his name on his luggage. He makes up a fake identity, basically saying that he's FBI, but not, right? They say, look, we're accountants, and so some accountants say you look into different things, like Jimmy Hoffa, some of those things they didn't keep proper books. He says, so you're G-men? I said, no, we're just accountants. So the guy with him, Sal, is very gay, right? Very gay, very closeted, but obviously, very, very gay. And they hook up with these super hot stewardesses from the plane, and they're having dinner. Of course, Don Draper ends up in bed with like this ravishingly beautiful 1960s stewardess. I'm like, this is like. I haven't had that fantasy before, but I don't know. It seemed like I came preloaded with that. I'm like, oh, look at that. You know, it's like when you see a new masturbatory fantasy and find out it's been there all the time. Like, oh, well, there you go. That's awfully good, right? Awfully good. Anyway, I digress. So, meanwhile, his gay friend, who tries not to be gay, right, tries to be straight, the bellboy like comes onto him, right, and they have this gay tryst. And all of a sudden, there's a fire alarm on the hotel, and it was like, he was like, "Oh, we gotta go!" And as he goes out, he sees the bellboy in his in his associate's room, his friend's room, Sal's room, right? They all meet outside. So okay, so here's why he's both a very selfish and a really breathtakingly kind character, right? And I like that I understand this character on so many levels, because that's what good. It's like Starbuck on Battlestar Galactica. All those characters. I love Boltar. Oh man, Boltar was a great character. You know, I gotta give Battlestar a rewatch at some point. I freaking love Battlestar. But I love Boltar, right? Absolutely fantastic. What a shame to see him, Star Trek Picard, bastardize himself in that piece of shit. Yeah. So anyway, he on the plane on the way back, he says to his gay associate, he outlines an ad for a raincoat, which is why they're there. Which is a guy, a bit of like flashing and looking away, or a woman flashing, looking away, and a guy sitting there. And he says, and the tagline is "Limit your exposure," right? So basically, he made up this incredibly good ad campaign, so he could say to this guy without saying "I saw you," saying that you need to limit your exposure. So I think that's kindness upon kindness. Kindness to be able to tell him that, and kindness to find a way to do it that is the least painful possible, right? Takes a very clever character. Meanwhile, he was cheating on his wife, right? Who just let him back after basically having a breakdown, right? I will say that would be going on. But anyway, that's why I love Mad Men, right? And then I was looking on Netflix, right? I just wanted something to like chill out, right? So I came across Casino, Mark Scorsese, and I started thinking, if I have complete control of the creative universe of the world, and we're going to do a Jerry Anderson cinematic universe, John Boyega is Captain Scarlet. Dun 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 dun. Yes, John Boyega, because it's okay. Why? Because primarily it's got to be an action brand, right? I don't think you need the Cary Grant voice. You need a voice of somebody who is a English action hero, which Cary Grant was, in the 60s, but now it's different. So I think John Boyega as Captain Scarlet, really, really good idea. But then I was like thinking, I think the next one to go for is Stingray, right? Dun, 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 Stingray. And then I was like, okay, so who do you cast this? Okay, and I think that I was going around oscillating, and I came across perfect casting. Right, I can't remember the name of the guys. They were big silver fishy guys. The bad guys, right? They were in the titles. For some reason, they built a giant fish-shaped submarine with a tiny like stingray missile. Fine. So the guy in charge of those, right? The aliens. Okay, my camera's a bit dirty. Is that better? I think so. No, that's worse. It would be not. Hang on a second. There we go. Let me use my religious accoutrements. Tom Hardy. Tom Hardy is that weird bug-eyed. Here, one second. Let's see if I can find a picture of them. Stingray baddies. Dun, 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 dun. There you go. And you know what? I'm amazed how right I am. I think I'm nailing this. Let me get a few pictures. Yes, I have nailed this. If I say so myself, this is near perfect casting. But having said that, I like Ben Kingsley as the Hood. Not a lot of people did. But me, I like a bit of Ben Kingsley as the Hood. These things are so funny. There we go. Doink. And there's this one over here. Okay, let me just open these up. Here we are. Share screen. Tom Hardy as this bloke. Dun 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 dun. I reckon you can make a whole. Basically, you can make a whole character out of that from that point, right? Dun 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 dun. Yes. Maybe have what's his name from EastEnders, Danny Dyer as one of them. And oh, hello, Ducky. Yeah. This is again Tom Hardy is this bloke. I don't know who this guy is. Tom Hardy is that bloke, right? And then for Troy Tempest, John Hamm, right age, yeah. Here's what you need though for Sting. I'm not sure John Hamm's the right casting. I'll tell you why. What's the most important thing for a Troy Tempest, right? To be able to do good water gushing acting, right? Like, what's water gushing acting? Whenever there's a movie of somebody like holding on, to the doors, water gushes around them, right? That's water gushing acting. So Leonardo DiCaprio from what's that movie called again? The Dream one, the Christopher Nolan Dream movie, Inception, right? Very good water acting, right? Obviously you had was it Jason Momoa? Fantastic water gushing acting. So you need good. I think he might be a bit too old for it. Maybe he'll be okay. I can't tell. Well, I like the idea of a slightly older, action hero. But yeah, I think, and also have it set in the same universe of about 30 years before. Like the Stingray is set 30 years before the Captain Scarlet, right? And then I guess Captain Scarlet and Thunderbirds you'll put and Thunderbirds will be the third movie. Anyway, so then I started watching Casino. I thought, you know what will be insane? Will be like totally work. This is one of my ideas, like getting Moffat and Gatiss to write the next Bond movie, which will obviously star Tom Hiddleston. He will be perfect. Okay, I'm just telling you the way it should be, mate. Right? I'm not dictating. I'm just telling you the way it should be. Along those lines, I was watching Casino. I thought, I love the way Scorsese. I think he's just fantastic. He's absolutely fantastic. The way he sculpts images. I'd love to see him do something from a script by Alan Moore, right? Because Alan Moore kind of writes like. In fact, if you ever read Killing Joke is essentially Scorsese's Batman. It's like it's got that real dark edge to it, but they also like the camera angles, right? Everything, the movement of the shots. That's all very Scorsese, right? It's I guess that's why Joker works so well. It's got that very 70s Scorsese vibe. Fine, let me pull up some thumbnails and get to the chat. Better late than never, you know me. Oh yeah, we got that one. We did that yesterday, but I'll throw it up. Why not? No, that's going up there. That's going up there. And I think I just published that, and I still haven't finished listening to this yet. I'm in the middle of listening to the new War Doctor, the Unbound thing. First story, excellent. Second story by Lizzie Hopi is having trouble grabbing my attention. Right, I'm halfway through. It's a bit of a slog. Right, that's what. I don't know why. I'm just giving my initial impressions. I do get that impression. Occasionally does a decent script, but I do get that impression more often than not with her. Let's see where it's going. Not much Colin Baker in it either. Right? First episode is basically Colin Baker, like very clever. Very, very, very clever. Right? Very clever riff on Face of Evil. Perhaps Face of Evil is one of my favorite stories of all time. I love Face of Evil. I've always loved Face of Evil. I wrote it to everything in that season. You know why? Because it feels like it's not trying to show off. I feel like it's just trying to do its job, and it does its job well, right? Which is tell a good, interesting science fiction story. Chris Boucher really, genuinely at his best. I mean, again, I adore Face of Evil, so it's a really cool riff on that. Louise Jameson is fantastic, right? Louise Jameson, she's in her 70s. she can project a voice of a young girl convincingly, right? A young, intelligent girl. I mean, I love what Louise James has done with the character of Leela, right? She was basically written as a cardboard piece of eye candy, right? Which she was in eye candy indeed. But man, did she infuse that character with character, right? It's layers of character, right? It just fun. And look, I think Louise Jameson's great, right? I think that I'm looking forward to the next War Doctor box set. Just because I know that she directed it. I think I hope we get more of them, right? Because she's really defined that range. Yeah, look, I think she's be great. Anyway, that thumbnail says Mark McCabe. Well, I got lucky. Okay, I was looking up, I was looking on Doctor Who Twitter, right? I did hashtag Doctor Who, seeing what's going down, and nothing, no trailer. I mean, like, it's ridiculous. I mean, don't tell me the BBC is not embarrassed of this fiasco, right? Of course they're embarrassed of it. They're hiding it. I'm like, really? What was it? Those like J.K. Rowling adaptations. The Tourist? They couldn't stop plugging those. If they're proud of it, they can't stop plugging it. But they're embarrassed as fuck by this because it's embarrassing shit. That's why. Because it's awful. You know, I'm sorry, but you only got yourselves the bloody way. By the way, what's her name? Daphne looks hot in this picture. So I just found this. I was like, there was not even a credit. I was like, really? Okay, I would have credited it. There's no credit on it. But so I'm like, well, I guess I'm just using that. That's perfect, right? I'll think of some flimsy excuse, and I did, and there it is. So there you go. One of the greatest crossovers of all time. That would be a great. See, it's not going to end that way. Why? Because this is good. You know, you would enjoy that. So there you go. Mark McCabe, yes, that thumbnail. Jordan Lee is here. Did you see Dan Hanley on and the Culture Casino channel? No, I did not. I have to go and check that out. Very good. Paul Taylor's here. They'd have gotten away if it wasn't that meddling Chibs. Nobody will get away with it with Chibs, let me tell you. Jeffrey says, zoinks! And then he says, Re-ra-ain red Arona Derricks? I don't know. I'm confused. So K9's regenerating and Scooby Doo says Jonathan. No, K9's there as well, mate. They're both there together. That's probably how they came together. Soderman says, I would have gotten away with it. It was you meddling kids. Oh, you thought. Yes, absolutely. So surrender. Darren Evans here. How you doing, Darren? Mark the Vicar. Oy vey's mail. Oy lano yoma din. Oy lano yoma tuchocho. There you go. Got the unit out. X-Men 577 is how you doing, sir? Mr. PC Gamer Forever. How you doing, Mr. PC Gamer Forever? Love a bit of Matt Smith, me. Love a bit of Matt Smith. Unhinged is here. Your fat pornographic uncle. Well, how are you, sir? Alex has been fired? What? Let's check this out. Alex Kurtzman fired. Let's have a look. Why are people creating... No, this is from 2019. 2022. Let's have a look. As one confirms 2 years... No. I'll look on Twitter. Alex Kurtzman. Okay. Doing a search. Kurtzman is a hack. One of the first things that comes up. Latest, let's see. No, it doesn't look like he's been fired. I mean, yeah, no, sadly, sadly not. The evil that is Alex Kurtzman doth continue. So John McCox is here, Mr. PC Game Forever is here. Philip Bogart, how are you doing, sir? Chicken Sacrifice reminds me of when a Red Dwarf episode when Rimmer wasn't what's the blue alert? I know. Yeah, okay, I don't like this. Step up to red alert. Are you sure, sir? It means changing the light bulb. That was one of the greatest Red Dwarf lines of all time. Adam Warlock is here. How you doing? I see. I'd love a Red Dwarf VR game. Like you're inside Red Dwarf. That'd be fun. Where are we going? I can't wait for the master to get unmasked at the end of the episode and say, and I would have gotten away with you. It wasn't impediment. Well, you know, it would happen. Rabbi's lost in rant. Rabbi was lost in rant. Old man Davros. Old man Davros. Mr. Jekyll and Hyde is here. How you doing, sir? Casino is good. Casino is good. Alan Moore apparently did not like Killing Joke. Really? 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 I mean, I can see he doesn't like it. No, okay. No, he looks back on it now with a bit of embarrassment, right? Because it's like it's in the past, right? He doesn't really agree with the sentiment it conveyed. But there's a piece of art. I mean, it's gorgeous. It's classic. Again, it's Scorsese doing Batman. Needle's one of the best commanders ever, says Mr. Jack and I do agree with you. Found myself watching the 5 Docs the other day. That's a good go-to episode. That is a good go-to episode. I agree with you. Have I caught up with Cam Crashco's here? How are you doing? Thank you for joining us, sir. Fine. Look at that. Okay, fine. So Alex Gertman not fired. Let's have a look at here. I'll show you what we got coming up. Because again, I'm offline for the next couple of days. Where we go. I think tomorrow is going to be it's one of these two. It's either this one, the dying days of the failed experiment. That is the first female Doctor. Yeah, we all thought that would go better. Yes, I know we did. Everybody thought it would go better, but not. Eventually, Bonkers Media Spin. We all make mistakes, not like you, darling. All doctors were clueless, idiotic failures. Just like, did I already post that? I must have. Look at my. I think there's another one. I think. Which one was it? Hang on, I got it uploaded. Okay, failed experiment. Okay. Oh no, it is a Bonkers Media Spin. Okay, I was wrong. Fine. I can't believe I haven't posted this yet. All right, so yeah, and that's going to be Wednesday, and then Thursday I'm live. Then Friday, yeah, by Friday we should have the new SFX magazine. So that'll probably be there's got to be a preview of Power of the Doctrine. That's probably what Friday's video will be. Other things sloshing around. I think this I put out the other day. This week, Jodie, we're going to have a scary villain come and invade the children's bedroom and finger them. Oh, you thought the kids will love it. Revisiting the best of Jodie Whittaker Doctor Who. Can you hear me? In-depth recap and review. A total mess. A mess of scenes thrown together with no story structure at all. That's a fair observation. Haven't finished listening to this yet. I kind of got bored by it. I'll go back. Thinking boring. Andor is boring, man. Oh, up me. Why? Like, why, Andor? Forget Jet. I mean, it's gorgeous. I mean, my God, this guy's a great actor. It's like, and there's so much in it I like, but it's just boring as hell. Forget Jedi, Sith, bounty hunters, and any other cool stuff like that. We're just interested in the crushingly dull side of this universe. Yes, you are, mate. Westworld, on the other hand, absolute sublime, brilliant. I've got to record my season 2 re-review. User from Carlo Tesco, always try and be as condescending as possible and lecturing. The kids will love that. All I said was, "Hey Siri, how can I suck at being Doctor Who?" And she appeared. I know. Thanks for the coaching. I'm putting this one out tonight. I think I might be putting this out tonight. Yes, I'm a terrible, miserable human being that no one wants to date, and it's all men's fault. Oh, also we hate superheroes, and this is supposed to be a comedy. Yeah, it's weird. It's a weird, depressing show. It really is strange, right? I mean, like this self-hatred is really bizarre. But there's no self-hatred for Galadriel. Galadriel the brave, Galadriel the strong, Galadriel the pure. Oh, Galadriel's the best. This is a Tolkien show created by clueless amateurs who once saw the two towers on a plane whilst reading an article on feminism. Yeah, that's about it, right? That's about it. Of course, but everybody there working it would love Jeremy Corbyn. Toxic, who found it was weird hatred, fear, and obsession with Jews. It is weird. Me and Jeremy here just hate anti-Semites and can't stop obsessing about them. You are a weird twat, mate. Okay, you're just a weird twat. Okay, every on the page is a weird twat. Glenn Piper is here. How are you doing, Glenn Piper? Which story was your favorite, Jodie Whittaker? None. Her strongest work probably was the Sontaran episode of Flux, or the first episode of Flux, or the what's that special called? Storage Room of the Dalek. What's it called again? Not Revolution of the Dalek. Revolution of the Dalek. No, the one after that. Story. It can't be Storage Room of the Dalek. What the hell? Okay, Doctor Episode Guide. Storage Room of the Dalek. I mean, that's what it was. Eve of the Daleks. Oh, God. Actually, that's not a bad title. So, I guess, honestly, the trouble with Eve of the Daleks, I mean, firstly, you have a Dalek who can't open the door, right, with a giant fuck-off gun. Oh, thank God we got like, wow! How? How did that get made? How did that get past any script editor? You know, the most feared people in the galaxy was powerful feared people in the galaxy. They can't shoot through a door, right? That's weird, right? That is very, very strange. How they got by, I don't know. Then you got weird, creepy thing. Glenn Biber says, I think Rosa Parks was emotional and good and was respectful of Rosa Parks, which it was like, no, okay. It had nothing to do about representation for black people. 0, 0, 0. This was representation of the people who live in Martha's Vineyard, who wants to feel good about themselves. That's that's the who it's for. It was white liberal grievance porn. It belittled both Rosa Parks and Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King. It simplified everything that happened, and it made I think it made a mockery out of it, quite frankly. It certainly didn't inform anybody of anything. Well, the most disgusting about it was tokenism, right? They used the tokens of Martin Luther King and Rosa Parks so Chris Chibnall can go to a party and go, oh, Chris, you're so stunning, you're so brave. Plus, it was shit. I mean, there is that, so you got to throw that into the equation. You know, well, all things considered, bit of an own goal, I would say, right? Plus, it was shit, right? I mean, don't get me wrong. The people I think are massive douchebags, like Paul Cornell, right? I think he's a massive woke douchebag. Fine. But at least he can write Dr. Bloody Who. I mean, like, I'm not worried about his talent at all. Okay, you know what we're gonna do? I don't like they did the first Doctor. The baby fell off a cliff. In that case, I don't think they do that's canonical, mate. But whatever. Let's have a look at what Big Finish is doing this month. Share screen. So there was something I wanted to talk about. I can't remember what they got. Price crash. Okay. Look, get yourself some deals. The old stuff that they sell for cheap is the best stuff. Okay, 100% the best stuff. Thunderbird sell. Okay, take me to the deals, mate. Because okay, none of these things appeal. Like, I got that and I couldn't listen to it. It was too stupid. It's from a kid's book. It felt like it. Big thing on original sales. Listen, if they cheap as chips, I would recommend. Adagar never listened to. Cicero you can do without. Jerry Born in Time, it's okay. Human Frontier is excellent. I really thought that was excellent. And I thought Blind Terror was very good. Both of them are worth $10, right? Hated Shilling and Sixpence. I just hated it. What else they got there doing? Apparently, they're working on recasting the Delgado Master. It says that in news. I like this cover for Starcots firstly. Man, let's have a quick look. I got this on pre-order, and I'm quite happy. This is a nice cover. This is actually this is a digital painting. This feels really right. High Frontier. Okay, who's writing it? Ronald Moore, Rosa McPhillips is good, and Sarah Grachala is okay. Yeah, is there a trailer for it yet? Hang on. Wow, it's set in 2027, it says it. I know I got this. No trailers yet. Yeah, let's have a look at the story. The story cover are revealed for the brand new box set of the Cole's Classic Series Starcops. I have to edit in the original theme tune, right? Otherwise, it just doesn't work for me. It's really weird, but true. Starcops first from Chris Boucher, aired in 87, set in the year 2027. Well, okay, there you go. Well, quite far ahead of it. High Frontier, original cast members David Calder, Trevor Cooper, and Linda Newton. Yeah, the first two box sets, if you like Starcops, just avoid them, right? Especially Linda Newton's, like, she's in the second one, I think. But it was the second one, the Mars one, that was really good. That felt like an authentic continuation of Starcops. That one really worked, because you need at least the three of them, right? I get what's the name, Thru's dead. You should have recast that role, I think. To be honest with you. So you got David Calder, Trevor Cooper, and Linda Newton. Again, Linda Newton is vital to this. Alongside Philip Oliver, it's about Bradley. Oh, they don't have what's name in it this year. Randy Thacker is normally in everything. She must got too busy. It's the near future of mankind's expanded presence in space, maintaining a maintaining law and order on Earth and beyond is the responsibility of the International Space Fleet, known colloquially as Starcops. Their leader is Nathan Spring. 3 gripping adventures in the box set follows. Well, I'm assuming it fits into one narrative, like the Mars ones did. That was, again, excellent. I really love Mars. Sonia Garrett dies during a routine moonwalk. The Starcops suspect her suit was sabotaged as part of an investigation. Divas and Paul travel to an ancient space station to interview Xander O'Brien, whoever that may be. But reclusive meteorologist has a surprise in store. He knows exactly who killed Sonia Garrett. Aliens. Okay, then. There's no aliens in the Starcops universe, right? I mean, that's really what their final episode was. Brilliant. It was about okay, spoiler alert for 1987. Well, how many years ago is that? 97, 2007, 2017. It's 35 years. Okay, 35 years ago. You've had time to watch it, I guess. 35 years. Petey Richards here. How you doing, Petey? Thanks for joining. The last one was this guy finds an alien artifact, like a little like a Mayan sculpture on Mars, right? And they realize it well on the 1980s paint box effects. It's really good. Colin Archer's there. How you doing, Colin? Thank you for joining us. And DC, I think I said hello, but I'll say hello again if I haven't. So then there's a whole political machinations. Basically, what happened was somebody smuggled this artifact out to Mars, buried it so they could discover it. So they could say, "Oh, look, there was some kind of weird life on Mars connected to us somehow." So there are no aliens in the Star Cops universe. That's the basic, the starting point for Star Cops. Hostile takeover. A crash shuttle with no passengers or crew on board. The murder of a gangster, the kidnapping. So it sounds like these are all individual stories. Okay. Kidnapping of a space station union leader. What connects all three cases? As Nathan's team investigate, they encounter Alice Okoro, a corporate investigator for Wolf International. What is her agenda? Is she there to hinder or help the Star Cops? I think probably help. Looks like hinder, but by the end it'll be help. Okay, they're sticking to like normal 80s fare. So when the sister of Lee Jones, his deceased former lover, is kidnapped from a research lab in Chad, Nathan travels to Earth. Okay, this is terribly written. When the sister of Lee Jones is fine. Okay, Nathan's deceased former lover, Lee Jones's sister. Oh man, that's written for shit. I'm sorry. So, okay, fine. So she was the one killed in the pilot. So he comes and looks for her, I guess. At the same time, Paul and Divas discover evidence that somebody may have found a way to smuggle narcotics into Moon, bypassing drug testing. Well, that makes it much easier. I would have thought. Both investigations progress on. As both investigations progress, an enemy of Star Cops sees an opportunity to close a trap. So again, I wonder if it's going to be individual stories, right? I don't know. Mars though was excellent, right? Their last two were, I mean, other than the theme tune, right? This I don't think I'm in, right? I don't think I'm in. I'm not really that interested with the mystery of how Harry Sullivan and whoever this is cross play. I don't know. Are displaced in time. I don't really care. I'm not invested in the story at all. This is tied in with Unit Nemesis, and I think they end up in a Sixth Doctor thing. Chris Naylor, and that's in a Fourth Doctor thing. Hang on. Right. So they are the in Series 13. So what year is that? That's next year. Yeah, he's with Harry Sullivan, but I think he's probably with Naomi Cross. So it ties into this season, which they're traveling with the Fourth Doctor. I don't think I care. I don't think I care. And like John Dorney, Lisa McMahon, I don't know. Yeah, let's read the blurb, see if they can talk me into it. Long ago, a massacre in a suburban house led to young Harry Sullivan joining a unit. I'm a hot origin story. Yeah, I'm not that interested. But the murders were never solved years later. Yeah, this sounds like the direct-to-video things you got in the 90s, right? Harry and Naomi Cross investigate an oddity in London underground and uncover a whole different side to the capital. Creatures of myth are running among. Oh, this does sound good. So it's kind of like Neverwhere. Okay, it sounds like it's Never. This does sound kind of good. Oh, you might be doing me into it. Creatures of myth are running amok across the city, because I can kind of imagine that with a Seventh Doctor. In a conflict that goes back decades, and somewhere in the shadows lurks a new incarnation of their old friend, the Doctor, and he's here to stop the war. Oh, that sounds quite good. I hate to say this, that does sound quite good. I guess you got a Dalek story because they want to sell it. Let's see what the Dalek one is. Scream of the Daleks, right? It's Halloween 1969. The Doctor, Harry and Naomi respond to a scream for rescue. They find that People have been dying in the same spot on this day across millennia. But a bit to stop this night. Okay, so it's one of these stories. Okay, one of the like spooky dooky weirdy stories. The travelers have unleashed the Doctor's old enemy. This one may be a cry for help, better left unanswered. Yeah, I don't know. So now that actually sounds better than I thought it would be, right? What was the last thing they put out with him? Yeah, this was very disappointing. The Silver Eyes thing. It was not. But it looks like there's going to be more Sullivan and Cross. I mean, I don't mind them as companions. All right, okay, that's you might have talked me around. You might just talk me around with me being reasonable. But no, Unit B, I don't care. Don't care. Not getting it. Leave me alone. Right? I was out on the second one. I was out on the first. I got the first one. I was like, yeah, no more. This cover's weird. Right? That cover is a bit. There was a bit shiny in it. I honestly, I don't really like the Kate Lethbridge Stewart unit. I find it a bit dull here. I wanted to look and see who did this cover, because it looks like a digital painting to me. They should have it over here. Cover up by Simon Holub. Okay, excellent job. Really, really. What else has he done? That's a really good, excellent job. I well impressed. Okay, yeah, he's got a nice look going with this stuff. Okay. All right, yeah, no, this guy's good. Got a nice like cinematic feel going with it. Yeah, I like wow, he goes back quite some time. That was a good one. Okay, this is not his first rodeo. I think that's what it's trying to tell us. Fine, but let's have a look, see what's coming out this month, and then we'll get to the spoilers. Right? I nearly forgot again. So we're in October, right? October. Rose Cannon, the Dementia Gun to the Saltwater. No, not interested. Leave me alone. This I'm interested in, though. Can't freaking wait. Oh, there's a trailer. Is it a video? Yeah, we're listening to the trailer. This looks awesome. This looks like a full-on James Bondy Third Doctor epic. But you know, I do like it. Kind of feels like it's done on a Barry Letts budget. You know, that doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't have the James Bondy budget feel. Well, actually, I have to say that's quite good, because I felt like I was listening to the Doctor, Liz, and the Brigadier, and realized none of them were there. Right? That's quite impressive. Yeah, so this sounds like it's going to be good. I tell you, all of you is going to get sucked. That's out of existence. Well, you know, swings and roundabouts. I mean, listen, I like a good sucking. Don't get me wrong. Out of existence. Well, you know, if you got to go, that seems as good as well as any. Quite frankly. Yeah, listen, okay, I will listen to it first. Oh, it's written by Alan Barnes as well. Oh, it's going to be good. Okay, I'll be very surprised this is good. I do like the Eric Roberts Master as well. I have that got that coming. No, not interested. Do they have a trailer for this? Oh, let's watch the video. Okay, no. Okay. Leave me alone. Just let me see the trailer. Hear the trailer. Okay, he's not a bad actor. He's a good voice, but there's just more depth in Matt Smith's performance. And look, it's Matt Smith. Okay, I'm not ranking on the kid, but there's and this is a fine stopgap. But I don't think the story is good enough to warrant this. Right? To do this, you need to have a great story idea, and this is just like, you know, it was is my audio on? Oh, what's it? Yeah. 1 second. Okay, can anybody hear me? Audio. Hello. It looks like it's working. Okay, it looks like it's working. I'm fine. You know what? I'm gonna log out the studio, then log back in. Oh god, will this end the broadcast? I hope not. No. Okay, I'm gonna leave studio and then come right back in. Are you sure you want to leave the broadcast? Okay. Oh, you can hear me, but not the trailer. Bollocks. How do I do that? I thought you had it through the speaker. Can't hear the trailer. You know what? It's not worth the bloody bother then. Leave me alone. Oh, yeah. So I'm not getting it. Is the answer. What else he got to come out this month? The master box set looks good as well. Fine. Yeah, that's fine. So let me let's pull up the spoilers. Here, doink. Okay, share screen. Here we go. And bit of Reddit action. Okay, Power of the Dalek full plot theory. All right, so I've seen a good bit of promotional material. Well, I haven't. Good for you. Who's seen promotional material? I combined all my ideas of what I believe to be the full, complete theory for the plot of the upcoming centenary special. Well, in all fairness, I mean, I think there's a good chance he's probably pulled it together. Let's find out what he's got to say. I'll try and be as detailed as possible, as well as explain certain elements and why I believe they are important. I tried my best to use the same mindset as Chibnall. Oh, bloody hell. So therefore, I hit myself in the head with a sock with a brick in it repeatedly. Right? Unfortunately, I was still too clever. But, you know, I stimulated pure stupidity. And how he likes to be old school throwbacks and plot twists. So I'm hoping to get pretty close as what he planned, or as much as I can, given all the promotional material that's been released and leaked. Well, was born been leaked and released. Parts, okay, stop. Parts may seem jumbled, blah, blah, but honestly, I expect the Chibnall finale with so much going on. But I'm also taking 90 minutes of runtime and out. So with that, let's jump in. Okay, what do you think? What obscenity do you think Chibs is going to do? Okay, we're ready to find out. As stated at the end of Flux, There are forces massing against the Doctor. Well, there's not that many left, are they? Most of the universe destroyed. All under the control, or at least being spearheaded by the Master. I mean, he never calls himself the Master anymore. It's just the Master, right? Following the end of the Timeless Children, the Master was able to escape with some cyber masters, okay, and a TARDIS to escape. I mean, I guess. I mean, it's not really, but I mean, it's no less of a logical plot hole than anything else Chibnall's done. I can't go, oh no, that doesn't make sense. He can't do that. No, if he doesn't make sense, he could very much do that. I mean, yes, he could totally do that. Because he's not very good at his job, right? Okay. So, following the end of the Timeless Children, escape the Sidemasters and the TARDIS to escape. Now, with a unique force under his command, knowing the revealed secrets about the Doctor from the Matrix, he begins to prepare his ultimate revenge. He planned a two-pronged offensive against the Doctor and his friends. Part one is to unite several forces who hate the Doctor into an alliance to go after her. That does sound like something he would do, right? Chibnall would do it. You know, you've got to think like children's television plotting, right? I mean, like young children's television plotting, like Master of the Universe, not overly intellectually stimulated stuff, right? And he's like, yeah, all the bad guys get together, It's the same sort of mentality that think your teachers sleep in school, right? So yeah, I give that a thumbs up. That thing. The threat is first to present itself to Earth in 2022. Dun, dun, dun. However, with unit restore, they've been able to detect the coming threat to the planet and begin pulling resources to locate surviving companions of the Doctor who have faced the Dalek Cyberman Master. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that fits with everything we've seen. But it felt more like Ace got in contact with Tegan, or vice versa. I can't remember. Maybe they got in contact with Ace and Ace got in contact with Tegan. Right? Something like that. Okay, either way, I don't think that sounds so off. Given how long it's been since she's seen the Doctor, Tegan is reluctant to join, but Ace convinces her. With the two companions working with the unit, they begin to develop an appropriate planetary defense against the coming threat. I mean, like, it's stupid. It makes no sense. But it's Chibnall Doctor Who. I mean, like, okay. How's Ace and Tegan working in planetary defense? It's ridiculous. I get the trailer apparently has Tegan firing a gun and looking ridiculous. But okay, whatever. So Ace save the world, I guess, or don't, as the case may be. Although they're smart not to include the Doctor in this, yeah, the Jodie Doctor. Okay, what we're up to. Do you remember Ace convinces working on the appropriate planetary defense against the coming threat? But this is when the Doctor, the Doctor is contacted by Kate and shows up at unit. There, the Doctor has a nice reunion with Tegan and Ace. I'm sorry, I'm editing this as I go along. Also allowing Yazza Dan to learn a bit about the Doctor's past. Yeah, okay, believe all of that. That all seems very fair. As well as allowing Yazza to see firsthand through the Doctor. The Doctor loves their companions, and they eventually end up being left behind. Yeah, okay. I mean, who knows? Wouldn't this be funny if this is really on the money? I think it might be. Don't you? I think it might be. Suddenly, everything seems to be flipped upside down when the clean-shaven master suddenly pops in and allows himself to be captured by unit while the Daleks and the Cyber Master continue on. In this second phase of the plan, which is to add so much chaos and unpredictableness into the mix that the Doctor struggles even to begin to figure out what his plan actually is. So the plan is to do that make no sense. I think he can do that. Yes, decides to stay with the Master in a secure location. She believes that she understands the Doctor and she might be able to understand the Master, what his plan is. I understand the Doctor. I feel so close to her. Oh, in fact, I would like to put my naughty bits next to her naughty bits and jiggle up and down. Oh, Icky Thump. Oh, we could wax the table. But the Doctor's scared. Yeah, the Doctor's a blithering coward. What about it? Fine. Where are we up to? So she's trying to figure out what the Master is. So she'll be able to work out what his plan is. During her line of questioning, the Master is very clearly trying to manipulate her into bringing up as many other companions as previous and previous events of people who love the Doctor and ended up in tragedy. Okay. Yes, that all sounds credible to me, right? Suddenly, the Doctor begins to pass out for some unknown reason while golden energy emits from her. Yes, goodbye! Goodbye and good riddance. We see flashes of events that haven't happened yet, like the Master with a thick beard saying, "This is the end of your existence." No, that something is very wrong. She confronts the Master, who is still with Yaz. This is where you get, "This is the day you die," quote. Okay. She seems to know exactly. Well, he seems to know exactly what's going on. He seems to be ecstatic with the fact that the Doctor is absolutely clueless. Well, that's why he loves this Doctor, clearly. If he's looking for a clueless Doctor, look no further than Jodie, right? She is clueless number one, right? When he seems to know exactly what's going on about ecstatic, blah, blah, blah. As her pain gets much worse, the golden energy breaks through more and more. Goodbye, Doctor. Goodbye. She gets inside the glass antechamber, a final prison, if necessary, within the room. Also, the room got David Tennant now. Okay. Within the room, Master is being kept in. And she doesn't want to risk hurting anyone. Oh, I can't hurt anyone. I'm too virtuous. I might look bad, and I might get cancelled on Twitter. While inside the vault, the energy seems to come to a climax. Oh, yes, I'm coming to a climax. Hickey Thump. I always wondered what it'll feel like. Ah! Hey, I always wondered, what's that? Oh, coming to a climax, Hickey Thump. Oh, go to the top of my stairs. Don't write climax in the thing. Don't expect me to not go off on it for 25 minutes. As she looks at that, is terrified. Before the engine explodes, we hear a voice of time from Flux saying, "I restore you, Doctor, but for how long?" This sounds pure Chibnall. Right? This all sounds pure Chibnall to me. I mean, like, again, this is a kind of theory, but this all sounds right. Oh, man, I bet he's right about all of this. Right? I bet he's right about all of this. With a bright light and a loud boom, the glass of the antechamber bursts out, and Kate and everybody rushes into the room. And we see the 13th Doctor alongside an older 7th Doctor wearing the same clothes. Ace rushes in. They're both in the same clothes. Why? Ace rushes to this doctor who is just as confused as the 13th. As they try to figure out what's going on, the master breaks free and compresses Yaz. Ooh, okay. Before the doctor is able to do anything, the Cybermen begin to attack Unit HQ. The master teleports away. I mean, okay, so I have very credible news that Sylvester McCoy is in it. In fact, here let's look at the source of that credible rumor, which is in fact Sylvester McCoy. Okay, hang on. Video. It's fine.
I was going to say, you've met Jodie. Yeah.
I was going to say, you've met Jodie. Yes.
Is that some sort of link? Yes, you've met in the centenary.
He's either this guy's a moron or he's 100% correct. He's like correct.
Right. So, welcome to Sheffield Show. Yes, thank you. So I've got some plucky volunteers here who are going to be my first victims. I mean...
So, yes. Sylvester McCoy is indeed in it. Fine, let's get back to this. In the chaos, the 13th Doctor and Dan get back to the TARDIS to try and find Yaz, leaving everyone else behind to deal with the Cybermen invasion. It's here we see the ace of the 7th Doctor try and come up with a plan. I'm going to enjoy watching that, okay? Yeah, I'm going to get the feels for that. As unit soldiers try to hold a defensive position. The 7th Doctor then explains that it's technically just a division of the 13th in terms of linear progression, hence why he's physically older, because he's still technically the same age as the 13th, but he's unsure how he's even divided in the first place, stating that he's never known power like this. Oh, this could be the power of the Doctor, right? Back in the TARDIS, the 13th Doctor is distraught about what happened to Yaz. Oh, I give up! Oh, my bestest friend ever has been reduced to an action figure. Although she is the right size now. She wanted to do a bit of internal exploring. It's what she would have wanted to make her into a sex toy. I mean, just a little one. Maybe I can add a vibration thing to her. It's what she would have wanted. Dan reassures her that everything will be put right. How? She's dead. Okay? She was just killed. It'll all be put right. She's dead, darling. She's dead like most of the universe. Dead. And she'll be able to fix things like she always does. But this also gives the Doctor time to reflect about the times that things that actually haven't worked out. All of them. Her entire incarnation. Oh, there was a time when, oh yeah, I let those giant spiders die for no reason. I wouldn't even stop somebody killing them so they could die less painfully. Yeah, that was bad. That time I gave the Siberians a lone Cyberman after they told me not to. Yeah, that was bad. Right. Yeah, in fact, everything I've done, yeah, that was bad. Fine. Where are we up to? So, he'll be able to put the Doctor reflects about times in the haven't realizing she needs more help. She reaches out to Vinder for help. Well, of course, she's known him for 48 seconds. Of course, yeah. I said, hi, you go to this destroyed universe with your very pregnant girlfriend. God forbid she's your wife, of course. As he also has combat experience against the fools they're fighting. Well, you got to go. What about Captain Jack? Captain Jack's always up for a fight, right? Yeah, Captain Jack will be there to help you. He came back to help you whenever he needed. Yeah, oh yeah, you counseled him. You classless cunts. You're right. You can't get Captain Jack back because you're busy cancelling him, cunts. We get back to the Master who has teleported into his own TARDIS, and while it's in the time vortex, is unable to materialize into the physical dimension, as if it was a damaged version that was recovered in the ruins of Gallifrey at the end of season 12. I guess it was. And the Cyber Masters themselves are on the TARDIS, as opposed to Cybermen who are attacking Earth. The Master then decompresses Yaz, okay, and imprisons her in the TARDIS, explaining that it was only done to make the Doctor even more panicked than she already was. So why wouldn't he have done it? He's like, yeah, he's always struck me as a pacifist. Yes. Oh my God, this goes on forever. He also states that he actually had already collected someone to use against the Doctor, but figured Yaz would be more fun given how close they seem to be. This is when he reveals a compressed version of Graham that the Master slides back into his pocket. I guess we'll see him at the end. But we also see a glowing, pulsing energy encased in a glass spherical vault. When he asks questions about it, the Master explains that it's a weapon has yet to be completed, but that he has it on good authority. It'll be finished one day. Wahaha! Okay, this sounds too good now. Okay, your bed at this point is I'm too interested. Right. The only thing that Yaz learns about this plan is that he himself was recruited by through someone for this whole ordeal. Oh, look at! Oh no! Are you kidding me? Holy shit! Oh my God! I think I've got to break this into a few goes then. Bloody hell! Where are we up to? Back at Union HQ, Ashdad and his Cybermen have taken up a large chunk of military facility. The Seventh Doctor tells Ace and Tegan to hide in the main control room while he tries to find a way to subvert the Cybermen's attention. During this time is when the Cybermen take the final push on the compound, fearing that they have no other choice. The Doctor and Tegan uses their rifles to open fire on the Cybermen. Entering the area in a chaotic fight, Kate orders them to make a quick escape. She distracts them while they flee. Kate offers surrender of herself and unit. Ashdad takes her into custody, reunited with the Seventh Doctor, Ace and Tegan. They all find themselves in a very old underground tunnel network around Unit HQ. But they aren't alone as Daleks are patrolling the area. Jesus, man. So we get a Fifth Doctor appears soon. Fine, we'll read this because at the end this is where the Fifth Doctor appears. God, I mean, even reading this is boring, which makes me think it is very authentic. In the TARDIS, the 13th Doctor discovers the signature of a TARDIS within the time vortex, but can't materialize around it. Vinda then recommends taking another vehicle rather than a TARDIS that can move through the vortex, and gets to the TARDIS instead. They acquire the time shuttle that is mainly used for the cruises throughout time. Oh, this would make me crazy. Fine. Dan and Vinda aboard the ship, blah, blah, blah. This is where we hear Dan's on a spacesuit. So, who cares? Okay. They get close to the Master's TARDIS. It has appeared in a Gothic church-style building. They quickly board the TARDIS and are confused by the combination of Time Lord and human architecture. The TARDIS is still damaged from Gallifrey and trying blah 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 repair itself. While searching, they find Yaz strapped to a chair with the Master not in sight, seemingly passed out. Dan and Vinda try to wake her up. As she does, the Side Master suddenly show up and begin firing on them. While they're firing backtrack, some golden light appears through her fingers. Okay, and the face, and she sees more images of yet to come. She sees the ruins of Gallifrey at night, and a cliff overlooking the entire scene. And some oh God, I don't think I could do much more. Some fine. Nothing is forever. No regeneration, no life. The blast wears off, and we see the Doctor on the floor out of breath, and we see there's an older fifth Doctor now who appears to offer a hand up. They try to assess the situation. Yaz, Dan, and Vinda get back to the time ship. Oh, is he wearing the Doctor's clothes as well? Oh God, just stop. Oh, it goes on forever. Oh, I don't think I can do more. Jeez, look at this. Yeah. Fine, let's just see how it ends, okay? Alone now in the TARDIS, heading for Gallifrey, apparently. As she does, she talks to the TARDIS, saying that she's going to die. She wants to go back to where the journey started. She thanks the TARDIS for stealing her from Gallifrey and keeping her company. Yeah, this sounds authentic. Okay, I bet that sounds true. As the TARDIS, and then the TARDIS was the greatest command she ever had. As the TARDIS lands, the interior goes blue, and the Doctor stands outside on a cliff. Why does the interior go blue? Overlooking the cold ruins of the Citadel. In a continuous shot under the atmosphere of night, she speaks to herself, comforting herself about what is to come. She learns. She leans against the closed TARDIS console door, closes her eyes as she lays there lifeless. Faint blue tendrils begin to appear out of nowhere. Out of nowhere, and they move ever so closely. We do hear the voice of the toy maker. I don't think so. His words ominous, echoing through sterile lands of Gallifrey. He said, so I guess they don't restore Gallifrey, is what they're saying. He says that this is still unfinished business between the two of them, and their game has yet to end. It's now the Doctor's move. Blue tendrils of light enter the Doctor, and suddenly she shoots up with newfound vigor, very confused about what's going on, as her hands have a familiar glow, along with faint hints of blue, dark blue. Unable to speak, the Doctor slowly makes her way towards the cliff. As the energy glows more and more, she then falls to her knees, and suddenly her arms open up as as the strange and new regeneration energy shoots out from her hands. Whoosh! The scene goes dark. We are inside the TARDIS interior, and the doors slide open, and a figure wearing the Doctor's clothes staggers in. Their body out of focus. Sounds very Chibnall, doesn't it? Their features still hidden. They hobble their way to the console, leaning for support. The camera slowly pans up to a small mirror in the console, freezing as they do. The camera pans around, and as we do, we see the face none other than the older and more scruffy version of 10th Doctor, with it ends with a what? I don't know. I think some of it might be on the money, but like the beginning bit sounded right? The beginning bit sounded right, but I don't know if there's tenants in it, right? I'm intrigued to find out. No freaking commercial, a trailer. It's unbelievable, right? It's unbelievable. There's no. I mean, the BBC are so ashamed of this piece of shit, and quite rightly so. I would have thought. Oh, problem being here is it anything? Problem being. Thank you for joining us. Who else is there? Well, Phil Book. I said hello to PD Rich is here. I said hello to PD Rich. I'm sure. I think Matthew Pounder is here. How you doing, Matthew Pounder? Okay. Yeah, no one cares. It's probably you're correct. Yeah, no one cares. It's shit. It just is. It's shit. I mean, like, I don't know what to tell you, mate. Oh, it really is bad. It really is bad. Oh, one second. There you go. Doink. So let's get to something good, right? Let's get to something good. I want to talk about Game of Thrones, House of the Dragon, right? Which is just, oh my God, full frontal dragon porn, right? Full frontal hardcore dragon porn, and it's somewhat glorious, right? I'm really enjoying this show, right? I'm really, again, it's not as great as some of the great HBO. It's not as Sopranos or Boardwalk Empire or even Game of Thrones the first few seasons, right? It's very good, though. It's very good. The characters are believable. I care about the characters. I like the lore. I like how it's somewhat different from what I read on Wikipedia, right? As if history is somewhat the recorded history is somewhat unreliable, and I like they have that kind of wiggle room going on. I'm even getting to kind of like the titles now. Again, I'm still disappointed that these people didn't take over in episode season 6, right? They would have been much better. But what can you do? Anyway, titles, the bloodlines go every which way. It's all very complicated. All very gay. And then House of the Dragon, right? Yes. Oh, by the way, David Tennant's son, many people in the comments told me is adopted, right? It's not his natural. He looks just like him. Like he's got the same facial mannerism. It's really bizarre, right? Okay. We start off, and again, this is why I love this show, right? This is Game of Thrones when it's at its best. We got some new lore going on, right? And it's interesting, and it, you know, they don't explain it all. It makes it more interesting, right? So we have this is the burial of Rhaenyra Targaryen, I guess, or Valerian as well, the Matt Smith's wife. And it's I like seeing the different customs. So this is a water burial, but everybody's there. Like everybody has showed up. All parts of this disparate warring family have all showed up together. I like that. I like the genuine motherly, grandmotherly connection there. Matt Smith is great. I like this character. He is a bonkers sociopath. I mean, that's essentially who he is. He's a bonkers sociopath. Oh yeah. So during the by the way, the music is beautiful. Who does the music of this? Because there's a couple of points. It was just really off the charts beautiful, right? So yeah, during the eulogy, the I think his dead wife's uncle, right, gives the a eulogy. Say they're two true born daughters of the shore, because the princess who is next in line to the throne, kids are clearly bastards, right? Very, very obviously, clearly bastards. But I do kind of like this weird family. They got together. So you got the black guy with the white hair, right? That's her very gay husband, and they weren't able to have children, so they actually had children by her bodyguard. So her was it? So what's Strong? So Harwood Strong, who recently died. The kids have worked out that that bloke or what was it? So what they Sawbone Strong, Breakbone Strong was their father. So they're grieving the loss of their father, who was just sent away, at the same time that Matt Smith's kids are grieving the loss of their mother. I don't know what's going through Matt Smith's character's head, right? He seems like he was happy with her, but not besotted, right? It's weird. Yeah, weird as well go. So yeah, basically everybody's there, right? Everybody's there. Great bit of storytelling. Lord of the Rings, people, can you please just take a look at this? This is how you tell a story. You don't have a long, bad, clunky dialogue. This is Sir Otto Hightower. He was the Hand of the King. Now he's been brought back to the Hand of the King. How do we know? He's wearing the badge. Okay, that's all you need to know, right? But there's all this bad blood because she's next line of the throne, and her kids are clearly not Targaryens, right? They are clearly, very clearly bastards, and their father was killed. Oh, interesting point I missed last week. The new, slimy, what's it called again? Master of Whispers. Yeah, there's the spy chief. Is Laris Strong, So he essentially had this brute squad made that had their tongues cut out to murder to murder these what's names a secret husband by burning down the room that they were in, and both his brother and his father got killed there, right? I mean, it's pretty hardcore. This guy, okay, this guy's really ready to go there. So anyway, but yeah, so it's lots and lots of innuendo rubbing her in her face that say, we know everybody knows the kids aren't real, Targaryens. And it's so much so that Matt Smith starts laughing. So then again, I like all the different rituals. This is the king looking awful as always, and the queen. This is the other side of the faction that the king's desperately trying to stop them go to a civil war, right? And it's just like, if they just listen to him, everyone's gonna have better lives. Like, if America does go to a civil war, man, are they gonna regret it? Are they gonna regret it? Bloody hell, they have no idea, man. Splosh into the water, and it goes down into the water, and then you get this insane dragon porn. Right, it's freaking tastic. Like you swoop down, but it is. Oh man, these dragons look good. I saw it on 4K as well. Oh, awesome! Right, awesome. So yeah, this is what Game of Thrones does best. Lots of like politicking, right? So she's like, go and say you're sorry to the girl's the mother's daughters, all right? And he says, look, I'm going through the same thing myself. My father just got killed. And she's like, yeah, shut up. You can't tell anyone. That's the queen and Sir, what's his name? But he slept with the princess a few times when she was younger. She convinced him to do it, and he hates her for it, right? He completely hates her. Paddy Constantine's the king. I love this character. Oh man, I just feel like just listen to him, okay? Everybody just listen to him. So this is a bit of weirdness. So we see like the king's daughter is like looking at bugs and stuff and being generally spiritual, and this is her brothers. The one drinking is David Tennant's adopted son, apparently, who weirdly looks exactly like David Tennant. I mean, like when you adopted him, do you have anybody who looks like very fit and Scottish? And like, okay, yeah, I'll take one of those. Right now, and this is, I can't remember the name of him, but his brother, he's the only one who doesn't have a dragon. They all have a dragon egg when they're born. His egg never opened, right? So apparently, David Tennant's adopted son, it blows my mind, is going to have to marry his sister. He's betrothed there to keep the bloodline pure. And he's like, that's weird. Okay. And this is the new master of whispers who killed his brother and father, essentially, to please the queen. Kind of a fanatical devotion. Yeah, and they keep talking about how awful it is there. The kids are obviously bastards, and they get themselves worked up. What happened here? Again, this is why conflict happens. 99% of conflict happens because both sides are convinced they're in danger. Right. Why is Russia doing what they're doing? Because they're convinced they're in mortal danger. Right. That's why they want a land bridge. Right. They don't want an armed NATO on their doorstep. Right. Which the Ukraine was supposed to not be. People want to feel safe. Right. Same with her. Her father told us that when the king dies, and he's a sickly guy, he might die. He lives for a while. Renara, the princess, becomes queen. Then her kids are probably going to be toast. Right, that's the only outcome. Right, of that you either got to like cling to her, beg her for mercy, or you've got to get ready to go to war against her. That's sort of, and she gets ready to go to war, and she is definitely several steps ahead. So he goes to try and like talk to them, and it's a nice little scene. I like how they hold hands. By the way, this makes such an absolute nonsense of the bullshit saying that we didn't like black people in just because they're black people in Lord of the Rings. We didn't like it was done with thoughtlessness. The reason for representation in TV shows normally isn't for the black people you're representing. It's for the white people who live in Martha's Vineyard, right? Exactly that type of people who wants to feel good about themselves because they think there's a show that's popular, not that they watch it themselves, that now has a black lead, right? So it's all about them feeling good about themselves because they are the hugest narcissists in the entire world. Anyway, nice little scene when they connect with each other, and he's saying, so this is his grandfather saying, "You got to get ready to be the Lord of the Sea. Your brother's going to be the king." He's like, "I don't want it. They understand. I'm clearly, it's not for me, right?" And this is this is the grandmother, right? The grandmother of the kids, who isn't so happy that those kids are pastors, right? Meanwhile, David Tennant's adopted son drinks heavily, so yeah, this is Rhaenyra's husband, very gay husband, who has a good arc this episode, right? Great freaking arc. He's in the water mourning the loss of his sister. Crying. And again, I love the whole like family unit they make there, right? And I'm not sure who's playing the queen, but she is indeed very, very hot. Okay. Yes. Very, very, very shaggable. Yeah, there's more like politicking. So here's an interesting, and I don't really understand what. I mean, I do understand why. The king is just super nice. This is the king and his brother. The king's the one wearing the crown, obviously. And he's just super nice to brother. Say, come back to court. Come and live with us. We let bygones be bygones, right? Let's just move forward, right? And he's like, no, fuck off. I don't want anything from you. Right, he just there was a scene 2 or 3 episodes ago, right, where he says this really nice note saying, "I'm going to help you with your war. I'm sending you 10,000 troops," and he loses his shit because he doesn't want to have any help from him anyway. So he's refused to go back to King's Landing, and he's like, "I don't want anything from you." And it's a really great performance. Again, this guy is just a sociopath. I think that's what really comes through this episode, and they're all like pushing, they are pushing to kill the princess, and he says going to bed, should do, and the queen doesn't need to go with him. Okay, essentially. Meanwhile, so then it's all dark. So I turn the gamma up, so I hope you can all see it. So this all happens at night. The hand finds David Tennant's son, adopted son, who looks just like him, very weirdly. How did that happen? I need to know more about this. This is very strange. Drunk out of his mind, he gets into bed because he's big on the fact that he wants him to be king. And they tell him to go and get his gay lover, the guy in the sea. And he's sneaking around, right? So good little conversation here. He's like saying, "Yes, we will do this, and we got to make our grandson the king, and that way, because you're supposed to be queen and you weren't allowed it, and I can't let it go." It's like she's like, it's got nothing to do with my honor. This is you wanting power. Right, it's all it is. It's you wanting power, and she finally he hears it, and he's like, "No, fuck off. We're getting the power." Right. So these are the scenes where we saw Matt Smith before it was released, filming on a beach where they added a dark filter. So essentially, this is the princess and her uncle, who a couple of episodes ago when it's like when she was 10 years younger. She tacitly introduced him to sex, sexuality, and she knows she's got a thing for him, right? She's always looked up to him. She always like feels a little quivery, right? If she had a washing machine on high spin, she would lean against it, thinking about him, right? It's not just because Matt Smith is quite dishy. So she's saying, listen, you're single. And she basically comes on to him, right? Saying that, you know, we should be together. You know, it's for the bloodline. And they start making out, creepy but weird. And they're like, okay, I guess we're going to shag then. So she's hoping she gets pregnant. Basically, she just wants to have a white-haired child that will make her claim much stronger. But also, I know she's weirdly into him, right? Meanwhile, best plot point of the whole episode happens right now. Whatever this kid's name is, he's pissed off. He doesn't have a dragon, right? So he goes running out across the island, and finally finds what he's looking for. This is the dragon of. Oh man, that looks cool. I didn't really have time to note it. That looks gorgeous. It's so good. So this is the dragon of Linara. What's the name again? Well, Targaryen, but Valerian, right? The woman who just died, and they and again, he doesn't have a dragon, right? So he tries to climb up, and the dragon wakes up and looks at him, and he's like, he tries again, and the dragon wakes up and opens up his mouth, and you think he's going to burn him, and he's able to command it, right? He uses the no, whatever his name is, Drogo, whatever the name of the dragon is, and tells him no, and he commands him. He gets up on him, and he rises. So apparently, this makes it his dragon, right? So like, yeah, so he's very happy. Again, full frontal dragon porn. Oh, Dr. Alex is here. Oh, I started the show talking about you, right? I'll tell you later after this. But I started the show talking about you. How you doing? Full frontal dragon porn. He takes it on an incredible ride. I remember my first time too. And they're like, and so they wake up the bastard kids and say, "Oh, the dragon's being stolen." Meanwhile, she's just shagged Matt Smith, and they feel somewhat strange about it. I think, I don't know. Happy and strange. I don't know. It's a bit weird. And he lands and he goes inside, and they say, "Look, you took the dragon." He's like, "It was out. It was my mother's. You should, we were supposed to take it." And a fight breaks out essentially, and the three of them start pummeling the kid. He fights back. He's about to bash his head in and kill him, right? And it just escalates, and he ends up pulling out a knife, right? The kid pulls out a knife and slashes him, and whoa, in a big way. And the white guard shows up, and the shit is hitting the fan, right? So the king's like, Muff, can I just get a night's fucking sleep? Okay, I am the king of the 7 fucking kingdoms, defender of the realm, defender of the faith, and I can't get. Look at me, I'm falling apart, right? And so her mother, who was at the throat of their mother, of the person who did this, is like, this is not good. She is pissed, and she like wants to know if it will heal. So yeah, listen, you're gonna. The flesh will heal, but he's lost the eye, right? He's certainly lost the eye. So basically she freaks out. And then the princess shows up, right? Who's the mother over there. And she's like, I want them flayed alive, whatever. And she's like, look, here's what really happened. They started the fight, and they were throwing around insults, somehow questioning these very, very black-haired boys, saying, they came from a mother who has very white hair and is very white, and a father who has very white hair and dark-skinned. These kids have none of those characteristics whatsoever, other than their pale skin, right? Clearly they're bastards, but they were saying the slander. They were bastards, right? Which clearly they are, right? But they're saying, he's like, well, where did you hear this terrible thing? And now the mother's scared that he's gonna, she's gonna be thrown under the bus. And it's like, and so the king orders that anybody who says this is going to have the tongue cut out, right? This is not good news. So he says, so where did you hear it? And he says, my brother. So, oh, really? You dropped me in it? Why me? Listen, I understand I'm David Tennant's son, but I'm adopted, although I look exactly like him. I don't know how that happened. It just did, right? So where do you hear it? So then we have this great scene where he goes, just look at them. Everybody knows. Everybody knows. It's obvious. Like, if he's making a fair point, right? So then he said, no, okay, the matter is closed. But she freaks out, said, oh, I want an eye. Okay, eye for an eye. And he's like, no, you're not going to do that. And he's like, no, Sir Christian, that's it. Sir Christian, you do it. He's like, he's like, you've sworn to me. And he's like, well, I'm sworn to protect you. I'm not sworn to stab a little kid in the eye. I'm not up for that. So she is not happy. She grabs this big Valerian knife and goes after him, right? She loses her shit big time. But then Matt Smith stops him from stopping her. He said, look, they need to fight this out. Again, they're both convinced they're going to die. They're going to be, and that's why conflict happens, right? That is why conflict happens. She stabs her and starts bleeding, and they're like, holy shit, this is bad news. And then he's like, Mum, it's okay. I might have lost an eye, but I got a dragon. And that's kind of a fair exchange. Good point, sir. Good point. So things break up, right? And she gets visited by her father, the Hand of the King, and he's like, "Girl, you're a player. I had no idea. Okay, we stand a chance of winning this war. Then, listen. I've read forward on the Wikipedia, and again, this is why George R. R. Martin is so good. Nobody wins. Every is miserable. Every dies and is miserable, right? That's what happens. Why? Because they don't listen to their fucking king, right? But okay. Anyway, so they sew her up, and she's like, "It's gonna be fine." So he has a whole thing. He feels super bad. I wasn't there to defend you. Yeah, he was busy fucking his friend, essentially his gay friend. And they like, look, we're closed. It's okay. The king leaves and he's falling apart. We get more dragon points. Oh, the dragons are so cool, right? The dragon goes with them. He's claimed the dragon. And she says, "Look, we got to get married, okay? We need each other, right? We need each other." And he's like, "Well, your husband's still around." Says, "I know that. I can't marry him unless he's dead." I know that. She says, so basically she's like, okay, listen, he has to get killed. So then a really chilling moment, the queen is on the boat, and this guy, the spy master, says, listen, if you need an eye taken, I can take care of that for you. Just let me know. And she's like, that won't be necessary. But, I appreciate it, and it hasn't gone noticed, right? So let us bind our blood. My claim will not be so easily challenged, especially I have a very, very clearly Valerian child. So next thing you know, he's Matt Smith's going with a cloak too. This is the gay lover. Said, listen, there's a place you can go. It doesn't matter who you are, what your name is. Handful of silver, a handful of gold. You have anything you want, right? So it says, here's what I need. I need him killed. Her husband killed publicly. With witnesses, right? A quick death, and he gives them a lot of money. So then a little bit later, and then he kills this guard, and they have a fight, and it gets very, very intense, right? And like the kid there says, "I'm gonna get the guards," but by the time the guards come, they're just pulling his dead body out of the fire. Right, and he's dead. They just killed him, right? And the mother's like, not doing so well. So that's all their kids dead, right? And he said, yes, once he's dead, we can get married. So then you have like I don't know where they're doing this. Probably Dragonstone. They do this clearly old Targaryen marriage ceremony, and you got all 4 kids together, which I kind of like. As they get married again, Matt Smith, a crazy sociopath in this, but very charismatic one at that. Meanwhile, a flashback that the guy who killed her husband runs to a boat to run away, and he's with this guy. So apparently the husband wasn't killed. That was just a fake body. I hope he tells his mother eventually, and he sells off for a life of relentless, very, 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 very good gay sex. So somewhere across the narrow sea. So I like now. Was that Matt Smith's character's intention? I don't know, but I like that. I like that. No, he says somebody says probably he says somebody needs to be murdered, not her husband. This was her husband's idea. It was he said she needs a husband. He gets to have what he wants to. Well, I like that, but I didn't know who's the plan. I have to re-listen to it. Oh, that is interesting. That is interesting, right? But again, it's different from the Wikipedia, right? So I like that they have. I like they have the bones set out, right, and they have wiggle room to move away when they need to, which I think gives them the creative freedom to keep it fresh, right? I just do. Right, let's have a look at Bounding in the comics. See if anything's going on in the world. Yeah, there's a few things I want to talk about. I'm not sure I'm going to have the. I got the Wakanda Forever trailer. I don't have the energy now. Forgot about that. Who gives a shit? Really, honestly, genuinely, who gives a shit? Black Panther Wakanda Forever. The trailer confirms female Black Panther. Doesn't reveal identity. Obviously, it's Suri, whatever her name is. Top 10 Superman characters don't care. Warner Brothers Discovery being sued for inflating HBO subscriber max numbers by 10 million users. Whoa! That's bad news. That is bad news. Embracer Group CEO admits fans not too happy over Saints Row reboot. Too early. Yeah, really? You made woke shit, did you? And nobody wanted it. What shock. Chuck Dixon, all the classic heroes like Superman and Captain America grew out of a great sense of populism. Absolutely correct. Got to find out what this Fantastic Fest is. And the others that I've commented on already. Fine. I don't think it's it. Let's have a look. See if there's anything happening in the worlds of Doctor Who. I very much doubt it, right? I very much doubt it. It's just so bizarre to me. There's no trailer. I mean, how is that bloody possible? Under 3 weeks from transmission. It's just like, we have no confidence, piece of shit. Matt Smith has a rare disease. I've done a whole video about the Leonard Nimoy Doctor Who movie. Rules out Doctor Who's 60th. Oh, tragic. Yeah, I'd rather you came back and do more. 10 facts most fans don't know. Piss off, I bet I know all of them. Jodie Wiggles' final episode in Doctor Who is one for the Heavians. No, it's not. You're in it. That's it, right? That's it. Nothing's going on. BBC has no confidence in this. The only reason that I have trouble believing that is because that would seem a logical, smart move, and we haven't seen many of those from the BBC. Fine. Time for me to hit that end broadcast. I'm going to hit it again.